Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Breeze Sports Center. I'm your host, Bradford Ambrose. Alongside me, Wayne Epps Jr. and Haley Thompson, sports editors at the Breeze. And Wayne, we're going to start off with football. They lost this past weekend at William & Mary, a tough 17-7 loss.
Right. Yeah, they obviously struggled on offense. They had that one touchdown to begin in the second quarter, but other than that, they really couldn't do too much. They had really struggled on third down conversions, keeping drives going. They were only 5 of 17 on third down conversions, so really struggling there. And so they would have put together some decent drives, but again, they couldn't keep the ball on third down, and a lot of drives just stalled out, and they weren't able to capitalize on them. And then they had the biggest play of the game, the block punt in the third quarter. Had a chance to put some more points on the board, but William & Mary blocked that punt, and I feel like that was a really big momentum shift right there. And they ended up going down the field and scoring their first touchdown to the block punt, and after that, it was a whole different game. So the defense, as always, played really well. Stephon Robertson, co-defensive player of the week. He had 15 tackles, but again, the offense is still struggling to find their groove. Kind of been inconsistent this year, so we'll see how they do kind of moving forward.
All right, let's talk about some good news. Women's soccer CAA regular season champs.
Right, yeah. This is the first outright championship. They'd tied before. It's the first outright CAA championship in program history. And then this is Coach Dave Lombardo's 24th season here, too, so it's nice to see that for them. They have a first-round bye this week. The CAA tournament actually starts this weekend, but they have a first-round bye. Because they're the number one seed, the champions, they host the tournament next weekend. They'll play either UNCW or Hofstra next Friday here at U Park. Then if they win that game, they'll play in the championship game on Sunday. And talking to the players this afternoon, they said that they really love to play William & Mary. To kind of hand them back a loss, because William & Mary has been one of the top teams in the CAA the past few years, so they kind of like to stick it back at them. So we'll see how it goes next weekend here in Harrisonburg.
Okay. Haley, men's soccer not faring so well. They're just trying to stay alive in the CAA tournament.
Yeah, they actually handed Drexel they defeated Drexel last weekend, so it's kind of looking up for them. Obviously, Josh Grant is the leader for the team offensively. Hopefully he can, kind of rally them together to pull it out, because they're in, a very much a must-win situation for the CAA.
All right, and let's shift gears and talk about field hockey. They're in a must-win situation. Haley?
Yeah, they're kind of looking at the same thing as men's soccer is. They right now are actually next to last, seated in the CAA, with only Towson behind them, who hasn't won a game yet this season. Field hockey is going through a very tough time right now, obviously losing their coach and having a new one. But last I talked to the players, they're all very optimistic, and so are the coaches about everything. So they had their first home loss this past weekend against Drexel, so that was disappointing, but they have their final 2 CAA games against Hofstra and Northeastern this coming weekend, so hopefully they'll be able to pull those out and advance into the tournament.
All right, and you've got some basketball news too.
Yeah, there'll actually be 2 basketball exhibition games this weekend. Wayne, you want to talk about those?
Yeah, the women's team will be playing Linear Rhine here at 12:30 p.m. on Sunday. Then the men's team will turn around and play Philadelphia University. They played them last year in the exhibition game. They'll play them again this year at 2:30 here at the Convocation Center. So the men's teams, both the men's and women's teams, trying to get sort out a couple things before they both play UVA next Friday, November 8th. The women will play them here, and the men will travel down to Charlottesville to play UVA. So let's see how those games go. It'll be interesting to see. Especially the men's team with all the freshmen they have. It'll be interesting to see how they come out and play the first public game.
Right.
And I saw Brady said that he actually doesn't want to redshirt any freshmen, so it looks like it will be a very strong, very young team this year.
Yeah.
Like they were last year. We've got some seasons closing down. We've got basketball, just starting up. Let's talk about football. Let's preview the football game this weekend against Villanova for homecoming. The Dukes will be home in action. They are 5-2, 2-2 in the CAA, dropped from William & Mary last week. Villanova is 4-4, 3-2 in the CAA.
Right, yeah. Of course, the 3-2 record, play one more game than we have so far in the CAA. So they're one of the teams, one of the 6 teams sitting ahead of us right now in the CAA standing. So it's going to be an uphill climb for JMU to try to win the CAA to get a playoff berth. We're currently out of some playoff projections already, so It's going to be interesting to see how it's going to be down the road, down the stretch here. I feel like they definitely probably will have to win all these rest of these games to have a chance to put themselves in position. Maine is up here undefeated, 4-0 in the CAA, and they're 7-1 overall. So that just gives you an idea of where some other teams are sitting at and where the January will have to climb to have a chance. So it'll be interesting to see how they do against the Wildcats. And of course, homecoming will be a lot of energy here. Probably a sellout here at Bridgeport. So we'll see how they kind of respond to the loss at William & Mary this weekend.
All right, it'll be interesting indeed to see if that team can bounce back. All right, for Haley, Wayne, I'm Bradford. Thanks for watching.